Hello everyone, it's good to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Tonight is going to be a very simple recipe. It's going to be beef tips. Now you'll want to prepare this several hours in advance. So get everything ready. First we're going to get 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil ready. We're going to put that in the skillet to saute the onions till they become translucent or kind of clear. So let's do, I have 1/4 cup, so it'll be almost 1/4 cup for 3 tablespoons. Put it in the skillet, and we'll put that on high so it gets nice and hot. In the meantime, I am going to chop up 1 onion. Now this is a new little gadget I bought. It's a food chopper, and it's rechargeable. So I'm going to get this ready, and this will be the first time I've used this food chopper. So this is a big onion, so I don't know that I need that much, but we'll see. I'm just going to put it in here, see how it goes. The one thing with this food chopper is they say not to use it for more than 30 seconds at a clip. After that, you got to let it rest. So hopefully it will chop up. We'll see what it does. There it goes. 30 seconds. That didn't even take 30 seconds. Let's see what they look like. Well, we got these big chunks. It's getting there. Try it again. Very good. I think that'll do it for that batch. Did a nice job. $24 on Amazon. I don't even know what this name is, but just look up food choppers on Amazon. You can get them really, really cheap. So I'm going to put this in a bowl. And I'm going to put some more in here and just chop it up. And I shall be back in just a minute. Amazing how quickly that does. Well, I got a bowl full of onion mush from my chopper. I'm going to put that in here. Woo! Don't do that. I got the grease a little too hot. Sorry, folks. Holy bucket. If I could refilm that, I would. So don't let the kids be close to the stove top when Tanya's cooking. We're going to let this saute for a few seconds or a few minutes. Wow, that was hot. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Here the ambulance coming, taking me to the hospital for burns. Just don't do that, folks. Don't do that. Okay, well that's sauteing. We're going to get our 2 pounds of beef cubes. I got some at Giant Eagle and some at Weis. Giant Eagle ran out when I was there, so I stopped at Weis and got some more. We're going to be cooking those in there, and it's going to take about 2 hours. That gets them real tender and tasty. So we're going to add this 2 pounds of meat. I'll put them in one big bowl. I'll measure it out here. This should be equivalent. Oh, I have a little bit over because I picked up, they were bigger at Weis. There was more in a container. Yeah, I think, well, almost. There's about 2 pounds. We have a few extra. You know what? What am I going to do with those? I think I'm just going to put them in here. Yep, see how much this is. That'd be about 6 ounces, not quite. So, yep, I'm gonna just do it all. Else I know what's gonna happen. That beef is expensive, and I'm not gonna let it go to waste in the fridge. My onions are getting translucent and also a little brown. So let's go ahead and add the meat. We're gonna brown that on all sides, and that'll take about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, since I have a little extra in here, we'll see how that goes. Might take it a little bit longer. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna get our 2 cups of water, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and 1/4 cup of Worcestershire. You know what? I try to say that. Worcester. I think that's how you say it. I listened to like a lady, I forget her name, who does pronunciations of words, and you don't pronounce it Shire. It's like Hampshire, she said. It has to do with where this came from, but I think you go Worcester. Worcester. So I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of Worcester. That just sounds so foreign to me. And this is much easier to say, soy sauce. 1/4 cup of each of that, 2 cups of water. Once our meat is browned on all sides, then we're gonna put that in the mixture. As you see, this is gonna be real easy. So we have our 2 cups of water, a 1/4 cup of Worcester, 1/4 cup of the W sauce. That stuff always smells so good. So tonight with this, Doug and I are going to have some white rice and broccoli. And we may also have some chicken. I got stuff I gotta use up in the fridge. So we'll see. We shall have a feast. Okay, I got a 1/4 cup of the W sauce. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Oh, whoops. Tried to put my pepper, it won't work. So I'm gonna have to pour that out. 1 teaspoon pepper. 1 teaspoon of garlic. Salt. Now that will fit in there. You know what? That meat cooking in that vegetable oil really smells good. And 1 teaspoon, what else did I say? Salt. 1 teaspoon salt. So 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and 1 teaspoon black pepper. Whoops, got a little too much there. I'll just shake it off on the counter. So we'll mix that around. Have that ready. So it says pour 2 cups of water, then our soy sauce, which I still have to get that, our Worcester, the W sauce, into the skillet, and then we're going to stir in our garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And we're to bring to a boil, reduce, and simmer for 1.5 to 2 hours. That's pretty much it. And then once it's about done, then we're going to make a gravy mix to put over it. So let me see here. Okay, so I already put I'm going to put the soy sauce in here now. 1/4 cup. I should have just taken the little thing off and poured it, but can anyone say that? Is it Kikkoman soy sauce? The bottle looked nice. I thought, well, it must be good. And this is the Heinz, the W sauce. Let me smell this. Very interesting. At first, it almost smells like a little bit of beer. Wait. I'll just do it real quick. Yeah, like beer. Is there alcohol in that? It says it's brewed. Yeah, this has a totally different smell. Soy sauce sort of smells like beer. It's been a long time since I've had a beer, but I remember what it smells like. Okay, so we got our 2 cups of water. We got our 1/4 cup of soy sauce and our 1/4 cup of the W sauce. We got our salt, pepper, and onion powder ready to go. And pretty much once we do that, we can sit back and relax for the next hour and a half to 2 hours. I've done this, it's been a while since I've cooked this. I think normally I just let it go for about an hour and a half, but I'll see what it's like today. We do have a little bit of extra meat in here, about a 1/2 pound extra. That should be done browning here in just a moment. Doug really was supposed to be helping me with this video here. He'll join me because we're going to make some home fries, some quick and crispy home fries actually. And we're also going to make, let me see what the other recipe is, chicken breast Pierre. So that, those two look pretty tasty. We're just going to have a smorgasbord tonight of food because I've got to get all that meat and all that stuff out of the refrigerator before it goes bad. So we're going to have fun cooking, but he'll be joining me on the next episode when we make the crispy home fries and the chicken Pierre. So I'll be back shortly to show you how these are browning, and then we'll mix all the ingredients. Okay, everything is browned, so we're ready to add our mixtures. 2 cups of water. Let me double check. Always double check because boy oh boy, at this point it would be awful to booger up the recipe. We got our 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, our 1 onion chopped, our 2 pounds. We have about 2.5 pounds of cubed beef stew meat. Here we go. 2 cups of water. 1/4 cup of of soy sauce. Yep, the beer. And salt, pepper, and onion powder. Put that in there. Now I'm going to stir it. I'm going to turn it on high. I'm going to bring it to a boil. And once that comes to a boil, I am going to cover it, reduce the heat, and simmer for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I'll see you in a few hours.
Shopping together.
You're supposed to go grocery shopping together. So Doug was supposed to join me for the potatoes and the chicken Pierre, but he has chosen to work outside today instead. So guess what? You got just me. We're going to cook a meal together another day. Isn't that right, Douglas?
I'm outside.
Yeah, you came in from outside working this afternoon. He doesn't feel too good today, so I'm not going to force him to breathe over the food that I'm going to prepare. So first we're going to do quick and crispy home fries. You're going to need 3 large, now they say russet potatoes, peeled and quartered. Let me see. These are Idahoan. I think they'll be just fine. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, and I will be using Land O'Lakes margarine, salt and pepper just to taste, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, cayenne pepper to taste, 1 pinch of garlic powder, and 1 pinch of onion powder. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh chives, which I do not have. I saw them at the store, but I did not want to buy a whole batch of chives for 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to forego that, but it is in the recipe if you would like to use it. So first I am going to peel 3 large potatoes. Get that prepped. Might not have 3, might need to use 4. And I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay, just so you know, Doug just made fun of me. Instead of saying Idaho potatoes, I said Idahoan. And go ahead, Doug. Say what you said.
I Idahoing out in the garden today.
Well, Doug is making fun, but if I look up Idahoan, it says Idahoan buttery homestyle mashed potatoes, Idahoan scallop potatoes, Idahoan instant mashed potatoes. So I'm thinking, Doug, that it is, let's see, Idahoan. Idahoan.
Is that the brand of potato, or is that the name of the dishes you're cooking?
That would be the brand of potato. Let's see. Yeah, it's Idahoan Foods. So the Idahoan brand is actually the instant brand.
Well, they must harvest by hand then.
Yeah, look at this though. So these, I'm sorry, are actually Idaho potatoes. The Idahoan would be those instant ones that you get.
And I know there's some people out there saying, she said Idahoan instead of Idaho.
Yeah, right. Look, right here it is. See, you know why I know and I say Idahoan is because that's usually what I'm making is the fake packet
Yeah.
kind. So there you go, Doug. Yes, there is Idahoan
You want
potatoes.
you want a bag of potatoes tonight, huh?
Okay, so I'm gonna peel my potatoes and I'll be back with you in a few. So just let me see if I'm correct, Douglas. You are good enough to make fun of me, feeling well enough to make fun of me, but yet he's not well enough to cook in the kitchen. Interesting. Do you have a response for that, Mr. Miller?
I'm busy. Idahoing some potatoes over here.
Oh, you're funny. You're funny, Mr. Miller. You know what? I bet you those russet potatoes that they say are huge, probably. That might be why there's 612 calories in a serving.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. You're right about that.
Apparently they're not russet potatoes.
I know. They're Idahoan, remember?
Okay.
Go ahead, Doug. Make fun.
I wasn't making fun.
Yes, you were.
I was actually asking a question.
Yeah, right. Like you totally forgot what potato I just talked about. Hey Doug, will you at least put your bib on and show them? Your apron, I mean, not your bib. Show them what the bib says, the apron.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording. I got Doug a new apron because he is going to be cooking with me here soon. He was supposed to cook this evening, but you hear him in the background. He just
Yada, yada.
yada, yada, yada. So here is what he is going to be wearing, Doug. Don't let them see it first. Let it be a surprise, and you're going to have to tighten it up.
When do I get to pick what you do with me?
Oh, you mean like, what?
Yeah.
You mean like putting out your work
You
van?
have picked the dates, which have been fine,
Look at him.
but I think I need to pick the date the next time.
Oh, okay. Well, we're talking, this is Dee's Delights here. This is
We-
not date night. Remember, we
Yeah,
were going to
but-
do a date night of a cook night,
Our cooking together is gonna be our date night.
but not tonight because you refused to cook with me tonight.
I didn't refuse.
Well, you claimed you were sick.
You didn't come out and get me.
Okay, show them. Look at that. It says Mr. Good Looking is a cookin'. Mr. Good Looking. It even has handy dandy pockets. I love it. As you can tell, I bought that for Doug and he's so happy about it.
Pull up a little higher.
That's true. Well, look, just so skinny you can almost double wrap
Yeah.
it.
We'll see you on date night.
Yeah. I'll let you pick the meal for date night. That means Doug has to go, we're to go grocery shopping together. We're supposed to just prepare and plan it together. It'll be a blast. Be a blast. Okay, I'm gonna chop these potatoes. I'm gonna wash them real quick. Did we already wash them? Yes, I did. Let's find the recipe. Yes, it says and quartered. Quartered? That doesn't even seem like enough. I'm gonna cut this one in smaller pieces than quartered. Oh, no wonder, we're nuking it first. I was gonna say, how are you supposed to eat a quarter of a piece of potato? Then we're gonna cut it into smaller pieces. I'm all right, folks, I'm okay. Doug got me all flustered in his apron.
Boy, I only knew that's what it took.
Okay.
I would have been wearing that apron a long time ago.
Yeah. So it says, arrange potato pieces evenly on a microsafe plate. Microwave on high until just tender, which is about 4 minutes. So I'm gonna put it on a microwave safe plate. And here we go. This is, instead of 3 huge russet potatoes, I used a large and a few smaller ones. So let's see, I might need to do that one. And I'll do this one. Those were pretty big chunks. Here they go, into the microwave for 4 minutes. These are very easy. So next I'm gonna get the pan ready with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of Land O'Lakes margarine. It says butter there, so you choose what you wanna bake with. Cook with, I should say. It would help, instead of looking at the beef tips recipe, if I actually looked at the crispy home fries recipe. So let's see. Heat butter and olive oil in a non-stick skillet over medium-high heat. We're gonna get that ready. And when butter melts and starts to turn brown, swirl the pan and add the potatoes. So first we're gonna get that. Doug, what are you looking for? Tell me and I'll help you. That's fine, that's fine. Your phone track, I put it in the couch thing there. In between the two. I should have done this over the pan. So I'm gonna have to go real slow. 1, 2. Okay, we'll let that melt and get ready. The potatoes are gonna have to cool, so I might not want to do that quite yet. I'll get the other things ready. We're going to do salt and pepper to taste, so we're not going to get that ready. 1/4 teaspoon paprika. Got a small bowl here. Paprika, the cayenne pepper to taste. 1 pinch garlic powder, 1 pinch onion powder. And we don't have the chives. So I think I'm ready to put that in a bowl. And actually, is a pinch just a finger pinch? Let's see here. What is a pinch? If you want to get very technical and scientific, a pinch is generally defined as 1/16 of a teaspoon. In practice, a pinch of the fine ingredient like salt, pepper, cayenne, blah, blah, is the amount you can pick up between your thumb and your index finger. Okay. So we'll see if I can squeeze my big old fingers in here and we'll get some out of there. Let's see here. Potatoes. It says you don't want to put a hot potato in a pan because they get browner quicker if you let them there. Now it says to heat on high until just tender, about 4 minutes. Well, they're not really tender. I'm going to put those back in for another 2. I think I'll go with the 16th because that way I'm not sticking my fingers in the spices because I would like to reuse these. So I do have 1/8 of a teaspoon in here, which I'll just do half of that. That's 1/4. Right there. 1 little teeny bit of 1/8. So we'll do half of the 1/8. And that was for pinch of onion, garlic, cayenne pepper to taste. So we'll do the pinch of onion. Bunch of garlic. So it's interesting, I didn't know that a pinch was actually a 1/16 of a teaspoon. You learn something new every day. 1 pinch, I'm sure some of you knew that. We'll do 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, and I did have 1/4 of a teaspoon in here. Right over here. Try that again, see if 2 minutes helped. Let's try 2 more minutes. Not sure where they got 4 minutes to just tender, because that's not tender. I'm making rice in the background too, just a little bit of long grain rice. It'll soon be done. So I'm just going to mix these seasonings around in here. We got our salt and pepper ready to taste. Sprinkle a little bit of that right on the potatoes. Sprinkle a little of the cayenne pepper right on the potatoes. Salt and pepper. Okay, I think we're ready for the next phase. We'll see if those potatoes get softened up here. Okay, at this rate, we're going to cut them. Once they cool, they're getting a little bit more tender. Okay, now I can actually put a fork down through them. That took 8 minutes. Where they came up with 4 is beyond me. But I'm going to make a note on my recipe that that takes 8 minutes. Not 4. So I'll let these cool for a few minutes, and then we're going to cut them into bite size and then fry them up in the skillet. So that's a pretty big, if they're saying this is 2 servings, that's pretty big. So you could probably get 4 servings out of that. Sorry, I've been making other things here, but the beef tips, I'm going to go ahead and mix a cup of water with a brown gravy packet, and we're going to mix that in with the recipe. Tell you what, I'm going to make it on hot water, so I don't add that to the, so I don't add cold water to the recipe. Well, just at least warm. Going to get that ready, because the beef tips are going to be done here in about 18 minutes. So we want to give this time to thicken. So I'll whisk this around a little bit. If I can find the whisk, here it is. I'm going to pour this into the mixture. Make sure I got it all, 1 cup. Pour that in. And that will give a little thickness to the beef tips, the gravy, a little bit of gravy, not a lot, but just a little bit of thickness. And I'll let that cook for about 17 more minutes. Just getting a few broccoli florets ready, frozen, very easy. I like the florets, I don't like the rest of it. So for the full pack, for microwave directions, for the full pack, we would add 1/4 cup and pour over it and then cover. And then microwave on 6 to 7 minutes. But for half a pack, we're only going to microwave it for 4 to 5 minutes and stir halfway through heating. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready because our beef tips are just about done. Let me see here. See what it tastes like so far. Very tender meat, very good. I should have brought that to a boil for the gravy. The broth is excellent. Oh my. Excellent broth. So I gotta bring it back to a boil so that gravy starts to thicken. Then I turn it back down. Forgot to do that. But it's all good. Yep. Bring to a boil. Okay. So it's gonna bring to a boil until it thickens. That broth is really gonna be good with rice, potatoes, broccoli. Let's see here. This is still cooling. I'm gonna cut it and get it ready, the potatoes. So let's put some water in here. I'm gonna cover it up. You know what? I think I'll just cover it up with a plate. Put it in the microwave. So I can stir it halfway, so I'm turning it on 2 minutes because I did half a pack. Okay, I'm going to turn this down. I came to a boil. I'm going to cut up my home fries into bite-sized pieces. I have a butter knife, so that tells you that I got it somewhat tender. Okay, now I'm going to get this skillet ready. Turn that on high. Yeah, some of the potatoes turned out softer than others, not sure why. Might have just been the position on the plate in the microwave. Okay, I think I got most of them cut up into bite-sized pieces. I hear that butter and oil, so I gotta be careful this time. So heat butter, okay, non-stick. When butter melts and starts to brown, swirl the pan and add potatoes. Shake pan to arrange in an even, season with salt, pepper, all that stuff. Okay. Now this is gonna be hot, folks. Be prepared. Okay, oh good. Wasn't so bad as the last time. We're going to get them in an even. Okay, so they're in the pan. Swirl the pan and add the potatoes. Shake pan to arrange, I got that. Season with salt, pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. So let's find our salt and pepper. Can't stay out of the daggone kitchen, can you, Mr. Miller?
Not when you're in it.
There's the rest of it. See if I can sprinkle that.
Get supper ready.
Get away from me. Okay, cook those for about 10 minutes. As potatoes brown, toss them and keep turning them every few minutes until they are crusty and crispy edged and a reddish brown color, which is about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, got it. Let's see, medium-high heat. Yep, that's about where I have it. We'll tell you the truth how they turn out, won't we, Douglas?
We will.
Okay, I turned the beef tips totally off because there's only about 6 more minutes. Now remember, I only did it for an hour and a half, but you can do it up to 2 hours. And the gravy mixture is in, it's starting to get a little thicker. There's plenty of brothy gravy in there that you could make rice, potatoes, maybe plain noodles and pour this over. So you can do whatever you like with that, but I'll let Doug tell you how he likes it when he sits down to eat. And I'm going to clean off the counter here just a little bit and make a place for him to eat. They are starting to get brown. Very good. Excellent. Nice and crispy. Okay, I'm going to prepare Doug. We're going to let the home fries keep cooking. They need to get a little bit more tender and a little bit more brown. So I am going to prepare Doug a plate of rice, broccoli, and beef tips. Hey, Douglas Miller, I just made a little bit of broccoli. There you have it. Beef tips with rice. Look at all that broth, and that broth is excellent. Don't waste the broth. Make some noodles. Make some mashed potatoes, some Idahoan potatoes, and you'll have yourself a good meal. Hey, Douglas. Little piece of paper. Hey, Doug! Come eat! My tender, loving voice to call my husband to eat. We'll see what he thinks of the beef tips.
Smell good, huh, bud?
What are you eating right now? What did you have?
Pretzel.
Oh. These potatoes are almost done too, if you want some of those.
Hey, throw some of them on there.
Well, I'm gonna wait, some of them were bigger chunks, so they'll take a little bit more to get tender. The smaller ones are good, but I'm gonna cook them for another 5 minutes. That broth is excellent. You can come and get started. And let the people know how the beef tips turned out. They're hot though. I want to cover up the broccoli. Is the broccoli? So you're going to let them know how the frozen broccoli turned out.
Broccoli's good.
Is it? Good. Do you want any salt and pepper for it? A little butter?
Nope.
Just plain old frozen broccoli. I'll get you a couple of these little things and see what you think. The little ones I'll have to pick out. Oh well, still gonna give it a few minutes.
Meat is nice and tender.
Yes, yes it is. And I didn't cook it as long. You can cook it for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I did an hour and a half.
Very good, excellent.
Excellent. The rice is boxed wild grain. I already threw the box out. Well, I better put this back in the freezer. And I'll give you some of those potatoes here in just a moment.
I think on our date, we'll go hunting. And maybe for a squirrel.
We
And
could
you
kill
could-
her, yeah.
Then you could.
I could
cook-
skin it, get it ready for the can.
I'll skin it, all you have to do is cook it.
Have you ever truly had squirrel?
It's been a long time.
A long time. Yeah, I think what I would do before I put that in the microwave, they said it should only take 4 minutes in the microwave. It took 8. And I think I would cut those, instead of quartering it to put it in the microwave, I would cut it into smaller chunks because it didn't get as soft as I would like it. So I'll let it cook here for about 3 more minutes. And these would be good in that gravy. Excellent, but you know I like, well, it's not really a gravy, it's a little bit thicker broth, but by tomorrow that ought to be pretty thick.
It's pretty good. You eat?
Yeah, I'll eat here in a few minutes. I like, you know me, I just love to watch you. I like to take care of my husband and make sure that he's fed first.
It's amazing how things change when the camera's on.
I know. You should have heard my loving voice calling your name down in the basement. Hey, dog! Oh, goodness. Let me just try one of these puppies here. This one here. One of these little golden brown potatoes. Whoops. Only professionals here in this kitchen. Golden brown potatoes. This one. Yeah, that's good. It has a little crispy texture to it.
You know what brand of potato is that? You didn't buy the russet.
No, I didn't buy the russet.
You had the Idaho.
Idaho, not Idaho, and that's the instant kind. Thank you for clarifying that, Doug, and making fun of me.
Like you always say, if I didn't make fun of you, I wouldn't love you.
That's right. Here, let me give you a scoop of these. Now, the hard ones, if they're too big, they might not have gotten soft enough. Let me check. They might be soft enough. And I could actually let them get a little bit browner. But here's what they are. They'll be a little browner than that if I keep them in the skillet for a while. Be careful, Doug. Be careful. Do you want some of these? Now, you might have to wait to let the people know how delicious they are so you don't burn your mouth.
That's good.
Right there.
So you're gonna have any leftovers of those?
What's that?
You gonna have leftovers of those?
I will. You gonna have them in the morning? For a hearty breakfast?
Eggs and bacon.
Eggs and
potatoes.
bacon? They're hot. They're hard. They're hot. I can't even speak. Okay, well, we'll wait to hear Doug's response on the potatoes before we close. I thank you once again for joining me here on Dee's Delights. It's been a pleasure. And Doug and I are actually going to do a recipe together, and we're actually going to go grocery shopping, do the whole thing, make the menu, then go to the store and buy the ingredients, then come back home, lovingly, hand in hand, we shall prepare a feast in the kitchen.
Just keep your eye on the police report.
Yeah. So the potatoes soft enough. Microwave might have, I should have cut them into smaller chunks. They're hot, aren't they?
They're good though.
They're good though. They have a good crispy texture.
I approve.
You approve. Doug, if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, what would your rating be on the potatoes?
I would say an 8.25.
8.25. That's not bad. What about the beef tips?
Maybe I need to eat something that's a 10 first to have.
So you're saying you've never had a 10?
a
You've never
clarification.
eaten anything that was a 10 in this kitchen?
What are you classifying a 10? That's what I need to know.
Well, that would be perfection, and that's hard to achieve. So, what would you think of the beef tips on 1 to 10?
I'll give them a 9.
A 9.
We can't go to a 10.
A 9. 9 on the beef tips, 8.25 on the potatoes, and next up will be Chicken Pierre. See you real soon, folks. Have a great week. Have a great week. Have a great week. Have a great week.